All right, and we're live. Welcome, everyone, to our third session of the day, which are the debate sessions for the School of Arts and Social Sciences representatives. So, today here we have our candidates, Amina and Neem. So, welcome. And yes, before we begin, let's take a look at the itinerary for the session. So, to begin with, we will have the intro, which is what is taking place right now. And moving forward, we'll have the opening statements by our candidates. After that, we will start with the Q&A from the current office bearers who we have here today. And throughout the session, we encourage students who are watching this live now to drop questions for the representatives into the comment section below, whereby we'll ask your questions during the Q&A from students. After that, we will wrap off with the closing statement from our candidates. So without further delay, I'll hand it over to Amina and Neem now to start off with their opening statement.
Very good afternoon to everyone. I'm Naim Green, Year 1 Sem 2 students, majoring in psychology, and this is my running partner, Sharifa Amina, in her Year 2 Sem 1 majoring in film, television, and screen studies. And she is also part of the current SASS subcommittee. As per our manifesto, we strive to be the voices of our community in SASS. With it being the smallest school in Monash, Malaysia, we want to bring students together, creating a tight-knit community that acts as one big family where we are all entrusted with our community struggles and ensure a safe space for all. Now, unfortunately, being in a pandemic state where classes are held online, we would like to promote a more inclusive environment where students are able to interact with each other more and find it easier to navigate the perils of their degree together, mainly through the implementation of Discord as a social space for expression and networking. Our main objectives during our tenure mainly evolve around creating that community feel in SASS. This is heavily based on student social welfare. However, we don't plan on neglecting SASS students in terms of their academic welfare or career opportunities either. First, let us further expand on our plans to ensure social welfare for the SASS community. Our plans include the implementation of Discord, Mingle Nights, and SASS Major Wars. We aim to make Discord our main form of communication between the student body and our subcom. This is because Discord is a very versatile social media platform with many features that can be customized to our needs. Discord is also a newer platform and it hasn't been fully utilized for SASS in the past. Mingle Nights will aim to serve as events for students to chill and socialize, get to know other students in SASS, as well as SASS Major Wars is a fun way to build bonds with others in the same major, as well as act as friendly competition to boost morale, as well as improve mental health somewhere in the middle of semester 2. I'll
Uh,
pass it on to my partner now.
Thank you, Naeem. Okay, moving on to academic welfare. A lot of students are unaware of who to reach out to when they're struggling with grades, lecturers, or heavy workload. Thus, we plan on making a simple feedback form available throughout the semester because problems may arise at any time regarding academics, and the normal SETU surveys or non-academic feedback forms may not come at the right time for students to express their initial frustrations. We will also like to continue the updates on Instagram and WhatsApp as a form of communication. So students can reach our subcommittee at any time for assistance. Ultimately, we also plan on reaching out to the head of school regularly to convey the message of the students based on feedback. And in cases where we can help them directly, the SASS subcommittee will be able to help them. Lastly, SASS students, especially the graduating ones, tend to worry about career opportunities. And because SASS has such a wide range of majors and students with different interests, we plan on having IG Reels of SASS alumni to share their stories after graduation to show them where they are now. Furthermore, we plan to collaborate with clubs such as Career Peer in helping students reach out to look for internships and jobs. Adding to the point of unity in SASS, we look forward to strengthening our ties with the psychology department in particular, as the subject is shared between both SOMHS and SASS, and SASS psychology majors tend to miss out on events relating to their major. Another idea that we have is to incorporate a student senior mentorship program where first years will be allocated to a senior to help them familiarize themselves with Monash and their major, especially in an online space. In the case where students come back to campus and live lessons begin again, it would actually be easier for our events to be engaging, but we'd also like to have a short SASS trip during the mid-semester break to further strengthen our bonds within SASS, especially because we've spent the last 2 years online. Lastly, we strive to unite MUSA as we believe that a good student body starts with good representatives and their student association. MUSA is currently quite divided due to being online, like how SASS is smoothly running but quite independent from MUSA as a whole, and we want to be a part of united MUSA to better serve the entire student body. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your opening statement, candidates. So, without further delay, we'll now pass it on to the office bearers to carry out the Q&A. So, today we have Ralph and also Nani here with us today. So, over to you.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
How are you guys? Thank you so much for that. Nani, if you don't mind, can I be the first one to ask the question? Okay. You include Discord in a lot of your answers. Can you think of other ways of using other platforms to your advantage?
I believe continuing with what has been done in the past with Instagram, the polls, the surveys, as well as like the different kinds of reels would really have a good impact continuing forward, as well as maybe implementing a Twitter page, considering a lot of users are very active on Twitter now. Yeah.
Okay. It seems like most of your initiatives will mainly revolve around Discord, yes?
Yeah, that's correct.
If there are, in cases where students who do not use Discord, will you still facilitate it through the WhatsApp group or any other platforms?
Okay, so we plan on first implementing when they join Discord, we have like an intro to Discord session where people who are unfamiliar with Discord will be able to learn how to utilize it to its full use. So it will be easier for people who are unfamiliar with the platform to get to know how to use it and then maybe be able to use it in other things later on. But yeah, we plan most of our events to be held on Discord, or our main form of communication with the students will be Discord.
All right. My next question is, in case that next semester or next year will be online, what are some challenges you think you'll face in organizing activities and how might you tackle it?
Looking forward towards. I mean, we all hope for the opening of university, of campus, and I feel like we just have to start getting used to real life situations again if that happens, and but I feel like it's also going to be a lot easier compared to having online sessions because the comfort and the vibe, it's there when you're together, and yeah, I believe it just make it easier.
Adding on to what Naeem said, another struggle I anticipate is budget because SAS has one of the smallest budgets there in Musa. So we plan on either getting sponsors or collaborating with other schools in order to overcome this issue.
Okay. Nani, you want to continue? You're muted, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, hi guys. Thanks so much for your intro, and I really like the part about where Amina said you guys are gonna do an intro to Discord. I think that would be a really great idea, and good luck on you. I just wanted to ask, since you guys just mentioned that um you guys are gonna be like using funds from sponsors for your activities that are gonna be on campus. So I just wanted to ask, do you have any events in mind that you think you can carry out, provided that you guys can go back onto campus? Any events that you think you can carry out that's not virtual?
The first event I want to carry out is a SAS trip because everyone's been online and it might make it easier for students to transition into real life again, where we meet people in real life. So to have them bond over like a 2 or 3 day trip will make it easier for them to transition. Another one we want is mingle nights to be not online anymore. So ice breaking will be done in real life, the and it will be easier for people to make friends throughout the entire semester.
Okay. I'm assuming you both have not been on campus ever before, so that's going to be a real big struggle when you come into campus if you get the opportunity to. I really wish that you might, but I'm just wondering, um you also mentioned that you will practice transparency in your tenure. So I was wondering, how are you going to deal with challenges that might arise among your teammates? For example, misunderstandings and conflict among your members. What methods or how are you going to deal with it? What methods are you going to use when you come to dealing with conflicts among your team members?
I believe that everybody should have a say in terms of opinions. So in terms of resolving these conflicts, I believe we should all, subcom as well as us, sit down together, have a proper discussion, weigh the pros and cons, and figure it out and see what's best for the community as a whole instead of what we personally would want.
Furthermore, in the election guide, we've mentioned that a leader should be open minded and willing to listen. So we'd like to practice having a fair judgment between the subcommittee, and we want to listen to all they have to say before coming to a compromise if we have to. All right.
Okay, that sounds great, guys. Jeff?
Oh, okay. I'll be asking about your manifesto now. In one of your manifesto, and elevate your SASS spirit. In your own words, do you mind elaborating to me or just describing to me what it means to have a SASS spirit?
Uh, you want to go first? Okay. I believe SASS is it's a very fun school where everybody's creative, everybody's very chill. There's the SASS vibe to it, and so to elevate spirits, I feel like if everybody of that same vibe mixes together, everybody's gonna have higher spirits together. Everybody's gonna have more fun, and yeah, it's just gonna be chill, have fun, relax. Yeah, Amina, do you want to continue?
Our school is mainly made up of people directing their brains and their focus on arts or social sciences, which is very different from other schools, which are more sciencey and logical based thinking. So, by a SAS spirit, we kind of mean people who are like minded and um, enjoy their time together and have the same sort of goals and ambitions.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, you also mentioned be an extension of the students' voices. So I wanted to ask, what are some of your views of MUSA? And are there any limitations of being a MUSA member? And do you think you could improve them in the capacity of a MUSA member? Guys, was I muted?
No, we heard. It's fine.
Okay.
So Musa as a whole, considering we are with Ignitas, we plan to evolve Musa into a more community based where we involve all the school representatives together towards working towards a better and bigger Musa. So hoping for this end goal, representing the students' voices, we would be able to relay anything that students might have problems with and fix it more efficiently, or be able to, what's the word, essentially we'd be able to help our students more and voice out their problems more efficiently. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. Jeff, do you want to?
Maybe Amino would like to answer Nani's question. Okay, no worries. Um, well, my next question would be about again your Discord and WhatsApp um platforms. We have actually already established the Discord server and a WhatsApp group, as you both may know, or be included in. Would you please elaborate more on how you will use these platforms, like, for example, any events you might think of, or anything that you can utilize WhatsApp for or Discord? Because I think if you have a WhatsApp group, but then you're mainly going to use the Discord for announcements, then what's the use of the WhatsApp group then?
Okay, so I think WhatsApp and we're gonna try with Twitter. WhatsApp and Twitter will be mainly used for announcements and promotions from SAS or any of the SAS students. But Discord will be our main social media platform in order to fully utilize it. But we know that there is a SAS Discord currently being in use, but it is still fairly new and not a lot of people are using it. So we plan on promoting it more and making it like a safe space for students to just hang out and ask questions or ask for help if they need to. Yeah. Naeem?
Further implementing on the Discord part, um, as a personal user of Discord for almost everything, Discord has a lot of potential in terms of social networking and bringing friends closer together. So I believe that you could have multiple types of events, especially like one in mind personally that I would like to implement in the future is a collaboration between SAS as well as our esports club, where we can hold tournaments for SAS students in different types of games, and bring them in and just create a closer community by doing so.
Okay. So Jeff and I have just one last question. Um, so Amina, since you've also been part of the subcommittee in our tenure, and because you have some experience already, and for Naim as well, because you've taken part in some SAS events and some of the initiatives that we have hosted, I wanted to ask, what do you think was lacking in this year's SAS 2021 team or events that you think you will work on in your tenure?
Personally, so far the events have been great. Everything has been done really well. The only thing I find lacking is really the closeness of SAS students. So there's not much networking going on, even though we're all there. There's very little interaction from the students with the committee. And I believe that, if we are able to improve that and we're able to bring the community closer as we have said we want to do, it'll become a more, how to say, lively community. Yeah. So yeah, so far that was the only thing I realized I was lacking.
Because I feel the events that are currently being held are actually really good ways for people who, especially people who are new students, because they are it's their first year for SEM or it's their first year second SEM, and they don't know anyone on campus and they've never been to campus and they're not familiar with the people or the places. So by allowing, oh no, okay, for by so by having them all together in your events, it really helps them to make friends as well, because after every event, you guys have showed that they can exchange their social media and be able to get to know each other, so they're not so lonely, and which is really really hard, especially for the newer students. So mhm.
Okay, that sounds great. That's it from the both of us, Sabrina.
All right. Thank you to office bearers as well as candidates for your questions and answers. So, yeah, since this session has ended before its initial time, we'll move on to the Q&A from the audience, as we have quite a few questions coming in from the comment section. So to begin with, we have one from Ross or Rosh. Um, so this was in regards to one of the earlier questions that was asked. Would you say that what you mentioned in regards to mingle nights and other events are closely related to what a club may do? Is that what you are going for? So, candidates, you may respond to this.
Okay, so clubs usually involve all schools, whereas SAS is the smallest school. So we want to make it it's not really a club, but to have a platform where everybody is familiar with each other and can help each other is nice. But yeah, mingle nights are what a lot of schools do in order to get their newer students familiar with other people and to help them just transition well into their university life.
All right. Anything to add on?
Right.
All right. Then moving on to the next question from Zari. For the usage of Discord, it is actually not effective based on the performance of other schools. How would you enhance it?
Looking at Discord, I believe that if we implement creating a closer community and creating a safer space for students, that the use of Discord would definitely be more prominent. The reason I believe most students don't actually join in on Discord is because they're not familiar with anybody, so they're a bit scared to actually, come along and try and make friends, try and network. So yeah, I believe by creating a closer community, it'll be a lot easier for people to start coming onto Discord and using it.
I also think Discord it wasn't really effective performance of other schools because a lot of our events are on Zoom and Discord is a separate platform. So we're gonna try having some events on Discord itself, so students will be able to get used to that as their main communication way with us and the rest of the student body in SAS.
All right. Thank you for your answers. So we'll move on to the next question from Eunice. So you've mentioned on providing a simple feedback form for students. Will this only be for SAS or is there any integration with other departments? To follow up with that, I reckon that both of you are from Ignitas and your VP candidates did mention on promoting a feedback form with collaboration with schools to voice academic concerns.
So we do plan on implementing this in SAS because we are in charge of SAS. However, yes, as part of Ignitas, we do plan on having this feedback form in its simplicity that will not be the same as other surveys because this will be easier for students to fill up in time of need. So so it's not going to be only in SAS. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next question. I've seen a lot of questions coming in, so if you still have any, please feel free to continue dropping them in the comments for the audience. But moving on, we have another question from Zare. What sets you apart from the rest, which will benefit the students you represent? And to elaborate more on why students should vote for you.
I believe that the two of us together, we create a very fun yet very serious partnership. And believe that personally, yes, I personally don't have any unique experience, but we do have a plan for our tenure. And our plan is to definitely bring everybody closer together as there is a lack of that in SAS right now. So by doing this definitely sets us apart from the rest. And, we can become a closer family where we're able to share our experiences together and help each other throughout this tough time.
it's not that we don't have any unique experience because I am part of the subcommittee for SASS, but although it was just as treasurer, being a part of a team allows you to work well and get to know what how to work well with others as well. So although it's not unique, it is a very important skill, and in a such a diverse school like SAS, we want to be able to incorporate all of that into one team, and be able to make life better for the rest of SAS.
All right. So now we have a question from Alia. How do you plan to improve the efficiency of communication between the SAS students and the SAS reps?
First and foremost, I think we have to be comfortable with one another, which would be first would be when we have mingle nights and we get to talk to them. So we're trying to be a friendly and approachable representatives so that they are able to voice out their struggles or their needs when they need to. Although we don't plan on talking to every single student unless they really want to, there is we do plan on having that community feel where if they need to talk to us, they can whenever they feel like it. Naim?
Um, to follow up on what Amina said, improving the efficiency in terms of communication. I mean, this is why we are trying to implement more social media platforms into the entire thing. So to have multiple platforms where everybody can reach us, and to have our personal numbers in a WhatsApp group. You can always WhatsApp us whenever you have something to talk about, or if you need a friend, any of that. So we're very. It's not like we're trying to place ourselves as a friend. That's our goal. We're trying to be your friend. So yeah, treat us like your friend.
Okay, thank you for your answers. So moving on, we have a follow-up from Ross. As for that collaboration, there's already a club hosting events and collaborations. So wouldn't you say there are other areas for you to work on?
As we mentioned in our opening statement, we are going to also focus on career opportunities um, as well as academic welfare. So we'll be meeting with head of school in order to give feedback to the head of school and make changes hopefully to our units so that we may be able to help in times of students with too much workload or grades that are unfair. We also deal with career opportunities, so we want to help SAS students be able to find jobs and internships after they graduate from SAS.
All right. So hope that clarifies. Or if you have any follow-up, you may also continue to drop it in the comments. So for the next question, we have another one from Zari. What are some of the team building events you guys will hold? Can you elaborate how it will differ from the current team building events that aim to unite SAS?
Personally, as a SAS student in my first year and second semester, I believe the events that the current SAS has held in terms of team building are very effective. You know, I've made a few friends through them. And I believe that continuing on with it and implementing improvements where it's needed will definitely help bring SAS together better. And like we said, we plan to do a few collaborations here and there with different schools or different clubs in order to bring more people closer together with different, more interactive experience, interesting ways. Yeah.
Anything to add on for that? Nope. Okay. So we have a question from Manta Lakshmi. How do you plan on improving the welfare of SAS students, and how often do you plan to have these mingle sessions?
Okay, so welfare and social welfare are not 100% the responsibility of SASS representatives. So there is also a welfare committee, and there's also the buddy program people, and there's activities in MUSA as well. So we do plan on working with them as part of MUSA, but um, in particular, in improving the welfare of SASS students itself, we would be conducting smaller, not maybe often, but not so big events on Discord, as we mentioned previously.
All
Naeem?
right. Yes, anything to add on? No. Okay. So, following that from Alia, what is something you will continue from the current SASS?
So far, the SaaS major wars is definitely a big part to what we would like to continue. Another thing are merch sales, because I think that's one of the big things that everybody looks forward to every year. And also in terms of personality, the friendliness. We would love to continue that because I felt a belonging in SAS due to them, and yeah, that's what I'd like to move forward, bring on to the other students.
All right. Then we'll move on to the next question. Do the candidates know about EI Hub and Monash Malaysia PRME? If you do, could you elaborate on any possible collaboration with both of the parties?
So I am aware the EI Hub works more on entrepreneurship, and all the innovation and future generation for entrepreneurs and leaders. So I'm not quite sure yet how I would want to collaborate with them, because it seems like a very School of Business related um, program. But I will look into it. Naeem, do you have?
Okay, no worries. So we can move on to the next question. So from Lakshmi, wouldn't your focus as SASS reps be ensuring the welfare and ensuring that units are delivered with the appropriate quality rather than organizing events which involve collaborations?
We did mention in our opening speech just now about our academic welfare as well and how we would see towards that. But we believe in an equal amount of fun as well as an equal amount of studies. So we will definitely ensure that, we'll take feedback on whatever units that have issues with, or, if students have any questions towards any relations with their classes or their certain majors and whatever, we will be able to provide and help you with those. But at the same time, we do stress upon ensuring social welfare, hence the collaborations with as well as the events. Because everybody's in lockdown right now, everybody's still quarantined, and we're trying to give give a fun time to everyone so they can enjoy themselves at the same time as handle the stresses of academics. Yeah.
The reason why we stress on social welfare so much is because of this pandemic and being online. Whereas maybe we would still be focusing on our academic welfare, like Naeem said, but having these events with other people of the same school allows you to meet people who take your units, and makes you have friends who you can talk to in those units and classes. So I believe they're actually very important in order to have them.
All right. So there is another question, but I'm not sure whether it's really relevant to the role for this representative. Hence, yeah, I do not think that we'll be including that into this Q&A session. If any other audience members has any other questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments as there is still time. Okay, we do have a new one coming in from Zare. Are there any policies with respect to the quality of the education within SASS you wish to change? Would either of you like to answer this?
I feel like I would like to change the way tutorials are taught, some of them, um, because some of them still lack engagement from students. I'm not going to name the units in particular, but there are certain ways that tutorials can be held that will be able to help students engage more in their class and understand what's being taught. Um, Other than that, we do plan to continue the meetings with the head of school, and we're willing to listen to any feedback from other students in case they want to change any policies.
All right. Any further add-ons? Okay. So we still do have time. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it into the chat. In the meantime, for the office bearers, do you have any questions that you'd like to follow up on in regards to the answers that the candidates have been giving? Nope. Okay. If there are no further questions from the audience, then we will be closing this space. Okay. All right. Then that will be all for the Q&A session for today. So thank you, audience, for dropping the questions, and thank you, candidates, for answering all of them diligently. So before we wrap up today's session, we'll proceed with the closing statement by our candidates. So the floor is yours.
Well, we'd just like to say thank you for joining us and listening to us, talk about our missions and our goals. And we plan to implement all of this if you do vote for us. And all in all, we hope to just have a better SASS and bring everybody together and become one big family, when we can rely and depend on each other. So thank you very much.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of the debate session for the SASS representatives. So thank you all for attending, and thank you, candidates as well as office bearers, for um, being here with us today. So for any other questions that weren't able to be covered, please drop it into the manifestos on KYC on the official MUSA Instagram page. Then the candidates will be answering them accordingly. Or you can also reach out to the candidates via their social media platforms. All right. So this brings us to the end of this session. Our next debate session will be taking place at 4:15 p.m. and it will be for the SOP or School of Pharmacy candidates. So take care, everyone, and see you there. All right. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.